Hi everybody, welcome to another week of Makers Monday. I am Anastasia Radloff, aka a Stampin' Blondie, and thank you for joining me for another week of live step-by-step crafting. Now I hope you guys all had an amazing weekend. Excuse me. I spent 3 days at my retreat in Mount Lemon that I co-host with Butter Dish Design. She's another demonstrator here in Tucson. We had such an amazing time. It was nice and cool outside. We had 3 days of crafting and just spending time together. And I cannot wait until we get to do Camp Stamp again. If you saw on my Facebook page, you could see how packed my car was. I could not fit anything else in the car. But Camp Stamp, we had so much fun with our campers and just being able to gather together in a different climate and change of scenery. It was just so much fun. So to all those that attended Camp Stamp, thank you. I look forward to hosting another Camp Stamp next year and just putting all of our hard work together again to make an incredible event. All right, now today I'm going to be creating 3 projects with the Pick of the Patch bundle. This is a fun and exciting stamp set from the new September through December mini catalog. And if you are a pumpkin lover like myself, you will absolutely love this stamp set and coordinating punch to go with it. Now, I really like this stamp set because not only can you create different size pumpkins, but there's also gourds and some really fun punny sentiments to go with the stamp set. All right, so let's go ahead and swap the camera. Hi, Barb. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Paula. Thank you for joining me today. If you're watching, make sure to comment, say hi. Let me know where you're joining from. It's always fun to see where everybody's watching from each week. I am live here on Facebook and also over on my YouTube channel as well. So wherever you're watching, thank you, and I hope you enjoy today's projects. Let's go ahead and swap the camera and we will get started. I just have one quick announcement and then we'll jump right into our projects this week. All right, the first thing is Fall Stampin' Bingo. So the deadline to register for Fall Stampin' Bingo is coming up this Wednesday. So you have 2 days left. If you are wanting to attend the in-person event in Tucson, I have a 1 seat left. So in-person event will be a Saturday, October 14th here in Tucson. And virtually, no matter where you live in the United States, you can attend Stampin' Bingo as well. That will be online via Zoom on Sunday, October 15th. Now, no matter how you attend, in person or virtual, both of the events are the same. So no matter what, you will be able to play bingo, win prizes, and create some projects as well. Now, the registration deadline, like I mentioned, is this coming Wednesday. So if you are wanting to attend, make sure to register. There is a link in the description of this video with all the details that you can find about Stampin' Bingo, what is included, and how to register. So my customer's favorite event that I host, I love Stampin' Bingo. I host it 4 times a year, and it is just such an amazing and fun event to be able to put on. And we're going to be doing things just a little bit differently this time, but it'll still be an exciting event. So if you are wanting to register for Stampin' Bingo, Wednesday is the last day to do that, and there is a link in the description of this video. All right, now each week I do something called Prize Patrol. So if you are watching for the first time, welcome. Prize Patrol is very easy. All you have to do is share this video, comment that you shared, and you will be able to get entered into Prize Patrol. That is it. Very, very easy. Now, last week I did not have a Makers Monday because I was prepping for my retreat. I needed all the time that I could to make sure I had everything ready for that. But our prize from 2 weeks ago was this is called the Thoughts of Thanks Journal. Now, I have this journal. I got one for myself as well. I love it. It's big, like 8.5 by 11. It has lined sheets of paper and also some gold stickers on the inside. Now this is sold out from Stampin' Up. It's no longer available, but still a great Prize Patrol item. So our winner for sharing my video from 2 weeks ago is Laura Hansen. Congratulations, Laura. I think I have your address. I will double check, and if not, I'll reach out to you. But congratulations, she is our Prize Patrol winner from 2 weeks ago. So thank you for sharing my video, and that's all she had to do was share the video, and she won Prize Patrol. Now this week's Prize Patrol is some of my favorite embellishments from the annual catalog. These are the Tinsel Gems 3-pack. Now we have Tinsel Gems 4-pack and Tinsel Gems 3-pack. This is the 3-pack. It comes with, I think this is Fresh Freesia, Misty Moonlight, and Coastal Cabana, but some really fun embellishments, and they have these little speckling of iridescent flakes along them. So very pretty for some fun projects that you put together. So all you have to do is share this video and you're entered into Prize Patrol. Make sure that you comment because that you've shared, because sometimes your Facebook security settings don't always allow me to know that you have shared. So make sure to comment that you shared. All right. Hi, Nancy. Hi, Elizabeth, Chris, and Paula. Thank you all for watching. Hi, Chris in Missouri. I used to live in Missouri, so thank you for watching. All right, today, like I mentioned, we are going to create 3 projects from the stamp set Pick of the Patch. Now, this is found on page 41 in our September through December mini catalog. So here it is, the Pick of the Patch stamp set and coordinating punch. So it has a punch here. Oh, let me flip it so you can see a little better. Now this punch punches out 2 sizes of the pumpkins from the stamp set, as well as a leaf and a stem. So you can kind of mix and match whichever type of pumpkin from the stamp you would like to punch out. Now, I like this stamp set because I love pumpkins. Every September 1st, I decorate my house with pumpkins. I have pumpkins all over the kitchen, the living room, the bathroom. They are all over my house. And I call it the Radloff Pumpkin Patch. So I just love the look of pumpkins for fall, but a fun fact, I do not like pumpkin spice lattes. That's kind of funny. I mean, I love pumpkin pie, I love pumpkin bread, but pumpkin spice lattes, I'd rather have an apple cider for those fall chilly days. All right, Pick of the Patch stamp set. This is a photopolymer stamp set, meaning it's completely see-through and clear, so you can see exactly where you're stamping. It has some really fun sentiments like a harvest of blessings, you're the pick of the patch, and then you can also use this for Halloween crafting as well. So I wanted to show you a Halloween project that I created with this. Now this features, let me turn to the page here in my catalog so you can see where they are listed on here. I had it pulled up and then I flipped to the page with the pumpkins on it and lost my other page, of course. Let's see, where are they? Keep going, keep going. Okay, I'm gonna have to look in the index to find out what page it's on. But where are they at? Page 41. These are actually, okay, here they are. The nested treat die or boxes, nested treat boxes. Now these are actually meant to be, they're 8 stackable boxes and they're meant to create an advent calendar with them. So you get 3 packages of the treat boxes and you can create a whole advent calendar. But I wanted to show you that they're not just for advent calendars. So this is kind of a Halloween treat box that you can create with it. It has these little notched out fronts, and then you can put some candy in here, gift this to coworkers, or I'm gonna give this, I don't know who I'm gonna give this to. I may switch out the sentiment and give this to my UPS guy because he has delivered so many packages to me. But this is the Them Bones Designer Series paper, and you can see how you can mix and match products from different suites to be able to create some fun products. So this is that nested treat box. It does come flat, so you do have to put them together, but they already have adhesive on there. So all you have to do is fold at the score lines, peel off the adhesive strips, and then put the box together. So very cute. And then here's another one. So different Designer Series paper with the little cute treat boxes. And I'm just gonna put these out with all my pumpkins as a little decoration. This one I'm gonna gift to somebody else. So just a little way that you can use the Pick of the Patch stamp set, not just for fall, but also for Halloween as well. Now I showed this picture yesterday on my Facebook page here. This is using the All About Autumn Designer Series paper. And then it's hard to see because of my lights and everything, but this is the new Glow in the Dark Designer Series paper that I ordered more yesterday, so it's still available. It's on low inventory right now though, so if you really want some, go check that out. But it's kind of hard to do with all the lights and everything, but this piece right here glows in the dark. And then a Harvest of Blessings, so just a fun, different fall themed card with that. Now today we're going to create 3 projects with the Pick of the Patch stamp set. Hi Veronica, she was at my camp stamp this past weekend and let me borrow this stamp set so that I could create these projects for you guys today. So thank you Veronica for letting me borrow your stamp set. But this is one of our projects, again featuring the All About Autumn Designer Series paper and You're the Pick of the Patch sentiment. Now this is my favorite that we're going to be creating today. I want to kind of see that shine on that Designer Series paper, featuring 2 non-traditional fall colors. So we have Pretty Peacock and Cajun Craze. So it is a very pretty color combination here, but very fun with that Designer Series paper. Oh, Veronica says that paper sold out again until November. I'm glad I got some yesterday. It's for my paper share, actually. I didn't get, the first time I ordered for my paper share, it wasn't available, and I saw it available yesterday, so I grabbed some, and apparently it's sold out again. So then this is our 3rd project here, A Harvest of Blessings, and then this features Cajun Craze and Pumpkin Pie, as well as this fun Pumpkin Designer Series paper. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Now, don't forget, each week you can get my, oh, that came apart. You can get my Makers Monday projects in a kit. So if you place your order on my Stampin' Up! Website, $35, using the host code that's on your screen here, I will send you all the project pieces for this week's projects for Make and Takes. The only thing that's not included are the stamped images, but you can choose the bundle as your order, and then you can create these projects as well. If you place an order of $50 or more, I have a embellishment of the week that I always highlight. This week it is the speckled dots. These are really fun, just like those ones, those tinsel gems that I showed you guys earlier. These have some fun copper foil flecks in them. So we're going to be using these on all our projects today as well, so you can kind of see them in action. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. We'll start first with our very vanilla paper. And don't forget, each week on my website, stampandblondie.com, you can print out the project PDF tutorial. It has all the details on the 3 projects that I'm creating here today, items, item numbers, prices, and the dimensions for the projects. Don't forget there's a back side as well. So you can print this out. It's posted every Monday that I have Makers Monday at 6 a.m. Arizona time. All right, our first project here today, we're going to work on this one, features the larger of the 2 pumpkins in that punch. So we have a piece of very vanilla cardstock, which is 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2. And the score on that is very, very faint. So hopefully when I fold this, there we go, it'll still work. a color I don't tend to work with very often, Very Vanilla, but with this fall paper, it works very, very well. I like the Very Vanilla with this autumn paper. It tends to not be so harsh if it was white. All right, so we're gonna add our piece of All About Autumn Designer Series paper. And here's the back side of that paper. Isn't that beautiful? I just love this foil paper. This is 3 by 4, and I cut it so the pumpkins are kind of pointing up. And I'm gonna go there. Now, if you take one piece of Designer Series paper, because it's 6 by 6, you can get 2 cards out of one sheet of that Designer Series paper. So these are the opposite ends. Here is that end of the pumpkin, and here's the other end. We have a piece of Cajun Craze cardstock, but before we add that, we're gonna stamp some little fall leaves into the lower right corner. And we're going to stamp that with pumpkin pie ink. So pumpkin pie right down here. Now this kind of gives it more of a not so plain background look to it. And now we're gonna add our piece of Cajun Craze. All right. Hello, Shar. I hope you had a great day today. Thanks for watching. Now our piece of Very Vanilla cardstock, this is 3 by 4, and we're just gonna move our card off to the side while we work on this. So, oops, I kind of threw that, didn't mean to. We are gonna do the sentiment that says, a harvest of blessings, and I don't think I grabbed that one. So let's pull that out of here. And I hope you guys are getting, wherever you are, I saw Wisconsin, Missouri, you guys are probably starting to get some fall weather now. That's the one thing, not the one thing, but one of the things that I miss about living in the Midwest. I grew up in Iowa, so I miss the season of fall so much. We don't really have fall here. And in Tucson, it's hot and then just a little less hot. All summer, it's been about anywhere from 90, well, probably 100 and above. And today it was like 95. So not that much different, but it's still hot. I miss fall. All right, so we stamped our sentiment at the bottom here. It says a harvest of blessings. And we're gonna stamp our 2 other pumpkins here with Cajun Craze ink. And then we're gonna decorate them a little bit with some garden green. Now for that, we're going to stamp the leaf, and there's like, in the stamp set, there's these 2 little curly cues, and we're gonna use this one right here, the shorter one. So let's see, we've got garden green. Where's our garden green? And what part of Iowa did I grow up? I grew up in, so I grew up in Marion, which is actually the same thing as Cedar Rapids. It's all one big city now. So if you know where Cedar Rapids is, Cedar Rapids, Iowa, that's where I'm from. My husband is actually from Cedar Rapids as well. So it's nice when we go home, we get to see everybody all at the same time. But my mom, I think she still has it. She has this huge maple tree in her backyard that would have the brightest red leaves on it. And I miss that so much. I know when my mom watches. So Mom, if you still have that tree, I don't know. I know she had to cut down a couple trees. So I don't know if she still has it, but it was such a beautiful tree that I miss all of that. Tucson. I miss it. All right, we're going to clean off our stamp here with the Cajun Craze, and we're going to stamp the middle pumpkin on a spare piece of Very Vanilla cardstock, and we're going to punch it out. So we've got our, where's my pumpkin pie? Here it is. And now this stamp, or this punch, when I go to punch it, you'll see the bigger pumpkin is on the left side. So I'm going to stamp on the right side of my paper so that when I insert it, I don't waste a lot of cardstock. So just be aware of how your stamps are. When I go to punch this pumpkin, I'm gonna stamp on the opposite side of the paper. So just a way to kind of save your cardstock and not waste so much. You just wanna be aware of where you are gonna stamp. So we've got our pumpkin in pumpkin pie. And I will tell you, I borrowed her ink pads as well, Veronica's ink pads, and I think hers may be a little bit more juicy than mine. I need to probably re-ink some of mine, but if you're wondering why the sample is just a little bit different, it's because I borrowed the ink pads during the retreat. Okay, so we've got our pumpkin for the middle, and then we're going to add that pumpkin on with Stampin' Dimensionals. Oh yes, my mom, she's on here. She says yes, it hasn't changed colors yet, but will soon. So she still has that tree. All right, Mom, when it starts to turn colors, you're gonna have to send me all the pictures because I miss it so much. All right, we added dimensionals to the back of our pumpkin pie pumpkin, and we're gonna add that there. We're gonna bring in our card base, and we're gonna add Stampin' Seal to the back here and glue this down. And that'll go right there. Here's actually a funny thing. So last September, I went to Canada and the leaves were changing, and they hadn't changed yet. They were just about to start, and I found one red maple leaf and I saved it, and it's on my craft room. That's how much I miss fall, and I miss all the different colors. So here's my one red Canadian maple leaf that I saved, and it's on my craft desk because I just miss it so much. All right, so we're gonna take about 7 inches of ribbon, and let me grab my scissors. Where are they? I had them in my bag from the retreat this weekend, and I will tell you, when I got home yesterday, I did not unpack anything. I was so tired that I just brought it all in the house with my husband's help and crashed on the couch. So we are gonna tie this into a bow and add this to our card base and trim the edges at an angle. This is the black and white 3/8 of an inch gingham ribbon, and I love the gingham ribbon because you can color it different colors with your Stampin' Blends to match whatever project you want. I didn't color this one, but I could have, if I was using this for a Halloween project, I could color the ribbon to be black and orange. So that is a fun way to use this ribbon and kind of stretch it, make it work for whatever project you're working on. All right, as the final touch, we're gonna come in with our adhesive speckled dots, and we're gonna use 2 of these green dots in the upper right corner here. And there is our first project today, featuring the Pick of the Patch bundle from the mini catalog. I hope you guys like this one. A fun layout with the different colors of pumpkins, and just a fun layout for creating a variety of other projects as well. So I hope you guys like this one. I liked that pumpkin paper, so I had to showcase that. Barb, I'll be heading to Ohio for the fall leaves. Oh yeah, and to see my family. Is it leaves over family? No, family always comes first, but then leaves are very, very close second. All right, our next project, if I can find it, here it is, buried under my punch, is this one right here. So this is featuring the leaves. We've got more leaves here for the project with that All About Autumn Designer Series paper. Courtney, I bet it brings your mom's joy to watch you do your thing. You are such a good stamping teacher and so creative. Oh, thank you. She watches my Facebook Lives every week. So shout out to my mom. I know she's on there watching. She is such a great cheerleader. It's a funny story while I put this together. My very first crafting event for paper crafting, I went to with her. I was in 4-H. I didn't live on a farm or anything, but I showed my dog, and I did household stuff like baking and sewing and that kind of stuff. But we went to a paper crafting event through 4-H, and I made my very first scrapbook page, and from there it was just, love at first roll of adhesive. And I will tell you that scrapbook page was awful. But I was in 4th grade and I got to do it with my mom, so that was always fun. All right, so we have our piece of Cajun Craze cardstock with Very Vanilla cardstock on top, and that designer series paper on top there. We have a piece of Very Vanilla cardstock. Now I've already pre-cut this with the 2 3/8 inch circle punch. That is from our annual catalog. So very, very fun to kind of mix and match your products together. We're gonna first stamp the sentiment that says "You're the pick of the patch," and that's gonna go towards, let me just make sure I'm on the camera here. We're gonna go towards the bottom of the circle, and we're going to put that away and use our piece of scrap paper here. Bring all this out of the way here. Now, like I mentioned earlier, because we stamped and punched the big pumpkin, because the small pumpkin is on the opposite side of the punch, we're gonna punch on this side, and stamp on the right side of the cardstock. Now you'll also notice this pumpkin is sideways. So I'm gonna stamp my pumpkins sideways on the paper so that I can easily punch it out and not waste a lot of cardstock. So I'll show you what we're gonna do here. Now I'm gonna flip my paper this way so it's just a little easier to stamp, but you'll see exactly what I mean when we go to punch. So we're using the smaller of the pumpkins here. Let me just ink this up really well, and we're gonna stamp twice. Now I want to give myself enough space because there is the stem of the pumpkin on the punch here. So I don't want to stamp side by side, or it runs the risk of cutting into my second pumpkin. So we're just going to close this up, and on the second pumpkin, we're gonna stamp the jack-o'-lantern face. So ink that up with Tuxedo and stamp that on there. And then one more thing we're gonna do before we punch it out is I'm gonna stamp my stem in pecan pie. So we have pumpkin pie and pecan pie. The punch, you can see the stem has a fatter end towards the right, skinnier towards the left. So that's how I'm gonna do my stamp. And we're gonna stamp here, and then once again up here. And I'll show you how I'm gonna punch all of this, but you can see there is some spaces in between because it makes it just a tad bit easier to punch everything out. Okay, so our first pumpkin is gonna get lined up here. We're gonna punch that one out. So there's our first pumpkin. Now we're gonna need to trim our cardstock to be able to get to the second one. But you can see here, my paper still fits the punch. So I don't have to waste too much cardstock. And punch. There's our second. And trim again. Trim what we punched out. And now we can punch. Now I'm probably gonna have to trim this up a little bit because this is in the middle of the punch. So we're just gonna trim that off there. Okay, our stem There's at the top. Here's our first one and our second stem right there. There we go. So we have our 2 pumpkins and our 2 stems, and we didn't waste a lot of cardstock. And all these little pieces can just go in the garbage. Okay, kind of a trick for these little stems. They're super teeny tiny. Normally with something like this, because it's on the back side of the cardstock, I would use Scotch tape. But even Scotch tape is just a little too big for these small stems. So I'm just gonna use a little dot of liquid glue, and we're gonna place that on there. And I like to use a clear block to hold it in place for a few seconds to kind of give the fibers a chance to fuse together. And while that is doing its thing, we are going to adhere. Here, let me scoot this up a little bit so that I can be in camera view. We're gonna add this to our card base. So this is gonna go on with Stampin' Dimensionals. And that will go towards the left side of the card. Now that has given that enough time to kind of fuse together. So our first one here is gonna go on with liquid glue, and I'm not adding any glue to the stem. The pumpkin will be enough to adhere to the card. If you try to add liquid glue to the stem, it's just gonna ooze all over the place. It's okay if it's the back side of the paper because you won't see it, but if you try to glue that stem, you're gonna have a really hard time getting just the right amount of liquid glue on there. Now the other pumpkin here, the jack-o'-lantern, we're gonna add a dimensional to that. And that's gonna be offset from the other one. We're going to use a piece of linen thread. I'm just gonna use 1 piece, and we're gonna tie this into a bow. Pull that just so it's not so curly. And because this is such a thin thread, I like to use just a little bit more ribbon than you're probably used to, just because it's a little trickier to tie. So I just have a little bit longer than what I normally would cut. And we're gonna add this on with a glue dot. Glue dots are the best, especially for this super thin thread. You don't want it to, like liquid glue can ooze out. So a very, very small glue dot will work best. And that'll go right under the sentiment. And then our final touch, we have right here, oh, if I can get it in the camera, upper right corner, we have 2 of the Moody Mauve, these speckled dots. So we're gonna use 2 of the larger size. They kind of match my nails, Moody Mauve, perfectly. And then there is our second project featuring the Pick of the Patch bundle. This is a fun one because you could make this be a Halloween card. This could be a fall card. This could be a thank you card, a congratulations card. So a very good variety of sentiments for this one. But this is our second project, so I hope you guys like that one too. All right, our last one is my favorite this week. And before we move on to that one, I do have to clean off one of my stamps because we're gonna use different color for this. Right, so here is our vinyl card with that pretty peacock and Cajun craze, 2 great fall colors together, not your traditional fall colors, but paired together, they work really, really well. So if we have a piece of pretty peacock cardstock, 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. So we're gonna fold that in half, score that. We're gonna add our piece of All About Autumn Designer Series paper. Here is the close-up shot of that. Now, actually, our 2 pieces of Designer Series paper are just opposite sides of each other. So you could create this project using either side of the designer series paper. It'll both work, but I like this foil, so I want this to be the highlight of the project. So we're gonna add that with our Stamp It Seal, and that's gonna go right in the middle of our card base. There, and we're gonna add that strip right across the front. The other side, that cream side, is more like a sweater pattern. So it's kind of looks like knit, which is really pretty too. But the foil just is the highlight of it. You have to really make that shine there. Now I've already pre-cut a piece of Very Vanilla cardstock from the Nested Essentials dies. I wanted to show you guys these. These are the dies. They come in 4, 6, you get 4, 8, 12 different dies, and there's 3 different designs. So we're gonna use the larger, or the second to largest size of this rounded one, but these banners and these kind of like diamond shapes are really pretty. So if you're looking for a good die set, that's a really good one to have on hand because it works with a variety of sentiments and fits a different variety of stamps in there as well. So you can kind of mix and match with a whole variety of different occasions. So on that, first we're gonna stamp this this gourd. I don't really know if it has an official name, but it's kind of like slumped over, and that's what we're gonna stamp. That's gonna be Cajun Craze, and then the other pumpkin is gonna be Pretty Peacock. I love Pretty Peacock for fall crafting. Not your traditional color for fall. You think of more reds and burnt oranges and yellows for fall, but Pretty Peacock is gorgeous for fall crafting. So we have that Cajun Craze there. Oh, I also need to stamp my sentiment using this ink pad, so we'll just move that over. So Cajun Craze cardstock. So we're going to stamp our sentiment right on this. It's a little teeny tiny scrap. So good use of those little pieces of paper that we have. Courtney's favorite is Pretty Peacock as well. I'm glad we have other Pretty Peacock fans watching. One of my favorite colors. I'm so happy that they brought it back. It had retired. It was a previous in color. And then when Stampin' Up! Did their color refresh at the beginning of the year, it came back. So I was very happy. All right, our scrap piece of paper, Very Vanilla again. We're gonna stamp over here just like we did with the last one. Pretty Peacock, and we're gonna stamp sideways and close that one up. And the little stem, again, Pecan Pie, we're gonna stamp that a little farther up so we can put that together. And okay, we're gonna stamp or punch now. I'm gonna punch our pumpkin out. Now you can see I am punching upside down. That's so I can line up my punch here, and then I like to flip it over so that the pieces don't fly all over my craft room, and I can make sure that it's controlled. We also have our stem that I need to trim up here, and that'll just feed through the top, and punch that out. And there's our stem. So just a quick section of cardstock here. A great use of scrap cardstock. That was cardstock that I had from another project I had finished. I hadn't used the whole sheet, so that was a great way to be able to do that. Our pumpkin, we're gonna add a little bit of liquid glue to the stem like we did for the previous one. And add that clear block on top so it adheres on there. Our die cut piece we're gonna add with Stampin' Dimensionals. So I like this a little bigger piece than some of our other ones, so I like to add one in each corner. And it's stuck to me. There we go. And that's just gonna go right across our piece of designer series paper here. our pumpkin is now adhered all together, so we can add a dimensional to the back of that. And that's going to kind of go halfway over that little gourd that we stamped there. And our sentiment piece, because it's going to hang off the edge of our card, we only want to add glue to the left side of it. So right behind the word cutie is where we're going to add glue. We're not going to add any glue to the other side because it's going to hang over our die cut piece, and we don't want it to stick to the card base. So just a little bit of glue there and it'll hang off here. So just the cutie is attached. Another piece of linen thread here. I'm going to tie that into a bow just like the last project. Got some glue on my fingers this time, so hopefully it'll cooperate. There we go. And again, glue dots are your best friend for these little thin threads and ribbons that we have. Glue dots are the best. If you try to use liquid glue, you're gonna have a lot more glue on your fingers than I do right now. It'll just be everywhere. Speaking of glue everywhere, when we had the camp this weekend, Camp Stamp, because it was a higher altitude than Tucson. So Tucson, I think the altitude here is about 2,500 feet, but we were up in the mountains, so it was about, I think it was about 8,000 feet. Oh, that didn't stay on there. So I went to go open my liquid glue and it just would not stop coming out. I had glue all over the bottle, all over my hands. Somebody had to come help me clean it up because I couldn't touch anything. But yeah, you definitely don't think about difference in altitude, but I had a bag of popcorn that was like a pillow. It was so inflated. All right, we're gonna add 3 of these speckled dots. Now I'm gonna use the ones that are kind of crumb cake colored. We're gonna use one here, another one right here, and then one final one right down here. That one had the glue come off of it, so let's try to re-add that one. The glue is stuck on my take your pick tool, so let's see if I can get that to get back on there and just slide right off. There we go. And that is our last project today, featuring the Pick of the Patch stamp set and coordinating punch. So I hope you like this project. Like I said, this one was my absolute favorite this week. I really loved the Pretty Peacock, the Cajun Craze, and the Very Vanilla together. And that paper is just gorgeous. All right, so let's go ahead and bring in all 3 projects today, and you can let me know in the comments which one is your favorite. So we have the Pretty Peacock that we just worked on, the Pick of the Patch Halloween, and the Harvest of Blessings pumpkin project. So let me know, which one do you like today? Which one is your favorite? I have to say that Pretty Peacock, definitely my favorite this week. It's very fun, and you can see the shimmer from that gold paper. All right, well, thank you everybody for joining me for another week of Makers Monday. Now, next week we start my Halloween crafting series where I'm gonna kick off with Them Bones Sweet. So we have some fun Halloween projects that we'll work on for the next couple of weeks, and I'm so excited to show those to you. Don't forget, if you're wanting this week's Makers Mondays class kit to go, just make sure to place your weekly order, $35 or more, using the host code below by Thursday at midnight Arizona time. If you place an order of $50 or more, I'll send you a package of the speckled dots with your kit as well. I hope you guys have an amazing week, and